Hey everyone, today we're going to draw and shade a cylinder. First thing you're going to do is you take your ruler and draw two vertical lines that are parallel to each other. Then you're going to take a plastic lid or any kind of curve. We'll trace a line here at the bottom first, right in between your two vertical lines. We'll do the same thing on the top. And then one more time, just like this. And then using your ruler, we're going to draw a table line in the background. So a horizontal line that goes behind your shape. Just like that. Okay, now when you shade, you need to decide where the light is coming from in your drawing. So let's go ahead and put a little light source over here to the right. That is telling us that this side of our cylinder is nice and light. And this opposite side is dark. Okay, now grab your blending tool and very lightly draw a line down the center. Just like that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start shading. Make sure you have the facet on your lead, so that flat slanted surface touching the paper. You're going to go ahead and use those three smooth shading techniques. So the first one is shading in tiny little circular or oval motions. You need to overlap your circles as you go.
Teachers, don't forget, steering committee, anybody on the interviews tomorrow, please meet in the data room. Thank you. 2:40.
And also, you need to make sure you're not showing any of your pencil strokes. So no circles should be showing and no individual lines should be showing. Okay, so you should have all along here should be your darkest value. So you need to press really hard to do what I just did. Then, as you make your way towards the center line, I want you to shade lighter and lighter and lighter. Still making sure you use those tiny little ovals that overlap each other the whole time. Smooth shading, which is what we're doing, does take a long time. I know, your hand might start to burn, but the overall look afterwards will be well worth it. Now, right about now, I'm not pressing so hard with my pencil anymore. Definitely not pressing as hard as I can like I was. And when I get to that center line that I drew with my blending tool, I need to be shading as light as I can. So press as soft as you can with that pencil. So very softly, drawing little tiny overlapping circles. Okay, and then the next step is to take your blending tool, rubbing it around in small tiny circles, just like we did with the pencil. You're going to rub over all the pencil that you just did. Making sure to smooth out all your pencil marks.
You watch that movie yet?
I'm making a video.
Oh, that's
That's okay. The students will like it. Say hi to Mr. Anderson.
Hi,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, I guess you say hi
I'll
to
say
them.
hi to them.
True that. They can't talk back, huh?
Okay.
I have not watched that movie yet.
Okay.
But I did move it to a different spot in my house so that I
Promise
can.
your students on video right now that you're going to watch that movie. Look into the camera and tell them.
I'm not looking into the camera. The camera's right there on my hands. I'm not putting my face under there.
Oh yeah, it's snowing.
Like crazy snow.
I know. I love snow.
My job is to tell Jessica when it's snowing.
I love snow.
Okay, make
The kids probably won't even watch this whole video, so they won't hear any of this conversation, so that's cool. Okay, bye, Mr. Anderson. Alrighty, sorry about that. Okay, now once I've hit the center, I should be, the value should be a little bit lighter. But with the blending tool, I'm going to go ahead and continue on to the light side. My goal is to get this value that I'm making, the different variations of gray, to just slowly fade away. So now at this point, I'm only using the value or the graphite that got picked up on the blending tool to make a mark. I didn't draw anything here with my pencil. It's just my blending tool doing all the work. So it's very important to make sure you're still using those little tiny circles. You don't want to start getting scribbly here. And shade until that value just fades away. Okay, kind of like that. Now one thing is you do not want to shade all the way against this line. You want this area to be light, like you said, nice and white, and this opposite side to be totally dark. And what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of going over, looking for any patchy areas. Because shading is a process. Sometimes you have to go back and fix what you did, or if you see any mistakes, go back and fix those. Now one thing I want you guys to look for. Right now, if you see a center line going down here, you need to fix that. You should not see a dark side and a light side. You should see a smooth transition. So if you see a spot here or a line going down the center, you need to fix it. One thing you need to do is possibly darken with your pencil on the light side of the line and then reblend it. If you do that until you got it right, it should look perfect. Also, if you do not have white all along here, maybe you shaded too far, then you can take an eraser and just dab it. So just little dots to kind of get that erased the way you need it. Okay, now the top of your cylinder, we're just going to shade all kind of like a medium value. And you can go ahead and just use your blending tool for that. You might go over it a few times to make it a little bit darker.
Coach Tiedemann, would you please call extension 7128? Coach Tiedemann, 7128. Thank you.
Man, so many interruptions. Can a girl just make a video? Okay, something like that. And now we're going to need a shadow. So you're going to have to go back to your ruler, set your pencil and ruler on this corner, and add a diagonal line, draw a line. Then you're going to put your pencil on the other corner, and you need to make sure that your ruler line is parallel to this first diagonal line. You want the shadow to be the shape of that cylinder. Okay, then when you shade, you're gonna shade your darkest value right up underneath here and fade away light as you go away from your shape. So again, we're still smooth shading. This whole project we're gonna be smooth shading, so you need to make those tiny little circles that overlap each other. Press your hardest to get a dark value, and press lighter and lighter, or softer and softer to get a lighter value. Now you're just going to make your way down the shadow, getting lighter and lighter. And whenever you've let that pencil get as light as it can, that's where you can stop. Some of you will have a slightly longer shadow than others, and that's totally fine. Okay, and then you're going to blend again with that blending tool, little circles. Sometimes you can kind of shade in straight lines, but you just don't want any pencil strokes showing or any like certain lines like circles or straight lines to show. And again, we're just gonna extend the shadow until we have no more value showing, until it's totally just fades away to white. Get it nice and smooth. If it looks kind of patchy, keep blending in little circles over any patchy spot. Okay, now we're not quite done, almost done. The last thing we need to do to our shape is erase any obvious outlines that we see. So this outline here along the light side needs to get erased. Also, any outlines you have around your shadow need to be erased. Now, if you accidentally erase too much, like maybe your eraser slipped into the shadow, you can kind of put that value back with your blending tool. Clean up your edges. If you got, smudges outside there, erase those. And then there you go. Here's your cylinder. Good luck.